All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Art in the Basin. I'm Amy Joy. Yeah, that's how we do it in the basin. It's a live room. It's actually a full room. We're very excited. It's Christmas time. Who's got the Christmas spirit today? Because we need a little Christmas and any holiday season, to be honest with you, as long as it's celebrating love and family and joy. All right, so without further ado, come on in. Join us, please. I will introduce the man who will guide you through the next hour. And the reason why I'm screaming is because there is no mic and I want everyone to hear me. There is a mic there. Oh. So, okay. This is going to be weird because I need this for the, okay. Can everybody hear me now? I said, do I still need to speak louder? Yes. Okay, so without further ado, please help me welcome author of 4 novels, including my favorite second acts. Check it out on Amazon. Once known as the minor god in the Chicago poetry scene. Help me welcome Tim W. Brown, everyone, right?
Righty. Thank you, Amy Joy. Amy Joy is the host with the most. She's the brains behind the operation that is Art in the Basin. I'm merely the talent. I'm Tim, your host tonight. Thanks so much for coming out. We have a full house, full room, and we're also on Zoom, by the way. I'm not sure we have anybody on Zoom at the moment. One of our regulars, the Elegant Ivory Duo, has a gig tonight and didn't make it, unfortunately, but fortunately for them, they had a gig. Anyhow, it is the holiday season, and we're grateful that you took out time from your busy shopping and partying schedule to join us here tonight. We have a triple whammy lineup, we hope. We're still hoping our other featured reader arrives yet tonight. But we do have Sarah Stern here. She is with us. And we have Kevin Delaney, who's the owner of all of the musical equipment you see here behind me, and this mic, which is like really nice. Thank you for sharing the mic. Appreciate that. The reason why I'm holding 2 mics is because we are live streaming on YouTube at the moment, and we need a microphone to go into the laptop so that YouTube can pick up the sound from the readings. So the readers and performers, I don't know, I guess maybe Amy Joy or one of the 2 of us will hold a mic so that there's 2 mics at play here. So I don't know if you remember like those old newsreels that you would see of Franklin Roosevelt with like 35 microphones in front of him when he was giving a speech. That's kind of what I feel like right now. You know, like there was NBC, CBS, and the Mutual Broadcasting System, if you remember that one. Anyhow, so yeah, that's why we have 2 mics. So yes, indeed, this is being live streamed on YouTube, and we do have a YouTube account. It's Art in the Basin, and you can see our past events as well as the ongoing current event, and all the future events that we will also live stream will be commemorated there forever in the YouTube archive, but it'll all be available to everybody to view later. I may have to, you want to, I think maybe they could sit in the, okay, all right. Anyhow, before we get started, and while I'm trying to kill a little time, hoping that Phylisha appears, I thought I would let you know about other events that Art in the Basin also does. We don't only do this series, which has been ongoing for going on 8 years now. We started in 2017 in April. And so we're, yeah, almost to our 8th anniversary. We also in recent years have been sponsoring workshops, writing workshops. We've done some one-off events like a poetry slam, and we did only like a few with Spike and Dival Branch Library. the Dead Poets Rising game, which was quite a success. Came up with some lines from that. The inventor of the game was there leading everybody through it. It's kind of like a cross between Trivial Pursuit and Chinese checkers, if you can imagine such a thing. Anyhow, the last 2 weeks, we've had, I'm looking for it here. Here we are. We had a workshop that was led by the poet Cheryl Fish. It was entitled The Road to High Boon. I don't know, hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Did I do it? Yeah, I say, I'm from the Midwest and we, massacre the pronunciation of everything. I actually wrote 2 high boon. I thought I would read them and then we'll get rolling with the program. I don't really have any titles for them yet. It's an interesting form. It's prose and then it ends with a haiku. It's like a Japanese poetic form. And so, yeah, it's kind of funky, but here goes. In adolescence, the city carved itself from the landscape, willing itself into being, announcing, I am here, listen to me. A fat, lumbering blob, when mature, the city sucked up waterways, shaved off hills, scoured the edges of valleys, paved over paths of disappeared natives. The city's occupants shoveled cultural detritus onto every vacant space as landfill. In old age, the city misremembered the original place names during forgetful marches up avenues, down boulevards, through museum galleries and hospital hallways, between cemetery headstones. And here's the haiku. Canada geese honk, insolently skimming the flooded roadway. So that came from the first week when we had prompts from Cheryl to write these. And I wrote a second one that was based on some of the lines that I came up with when we did the Dead Poets Rising game. And I was really happy to be able to recycle them because I really didn't, what's that? It said Poets Rise, excuse me. I added the gerund form there. Apologies for that, but yes, Dead Poets Rise. It is a trademark. Okay, well, gotta make sure we get it correct then, or else I'll get sued. This is the other high boon I did with lines from Dead Poets Rise. I take a midnight walk through the park, which is soggy from October rain. Under fallen crisscrossed leaves, I sense the boogeyman is lurking just like beneath my bed when I was 5. I look up through the battered moonlight and see a big shiner on the man in the moon's face. It's lumpy gibbous, swollen, bruised by gravity, slapped by sunlight. Passing clouds briefly smooth over cuts and scratches, which well up again and redden like a sad attempt to cover injuries with cosmetics. I make a frightful witness. And here's the haiku. The moon is a beacon illuminating the path to my destruction. All right. Not to leave you with the downer, we do have a bit of a fill-in now that we don't yet have Phylisha with us. More than a fill-in, he's a longtime friend of Art in the Basin. He's appeared numerous times with us here at Monomore Coffee and Wine, as well as some of these special events we've done in the past. Oh, okay. Well, then Phylisha has arrived, so we'll have Clyde come up, but just do a few minutes, not the whole set, if you don't mind. Everybody, Clyde.
And I'll be honest. This is not the first time I've double-fisted ice cream cones. So I'm a pretty simple man. I don't have much going on in my life, and I found myself in the East Village the other day, just running some simple errands. And after I was done doing my shopping, doing my thing, I said, it would be nice to just have a simple beer and collect my thoughts. So I walked down 14th Street and I went to the first bar I saw, a bar I'd never heard of called Coyote Ugly. And I sat down and I ordered my beer, and it's the darndest thing. Within minutes, the bartender, who was an active woman wearing a skimpy outfit, began dancing on the bar to the song Helter Skelter. And you'll never guess what happened next. I became aroused, sexually aroused. The next thing I knew, I had spent all of my money, which was the only reason I felt compelled to leave. Did you ever notice that the line for the woman's bathroom is always longer than the line for the men's bathroom? Hamburger. So this is a little bit of a special announcement. I am in love. But it sucks. Because I find myself spending a lot of time thinking about this woman, basing my schedule of where she's going, what she's doing, which turns into what I'm doing. But the worst part about being in love with this woman is she in no way feels the same way that I do. If you were to ask her how she feels about me, she'd say something like, "Oh yeah, he's pretty nice. I like it when he comes to my show. I don't remember what his name is." And yes, that is how she really talks. I'm not making that up. And I realized maybe I'm better off being by myself. Maybe I should be alone. Maybe I should be selfish. So to all you ladies out there, stay away from me. I'm bad news. I will ruin your life. At best, I will do a mildly offensive impression of you. Speaking about being a simple man, I do not make a lot of money, but I do enjoy a bowl of cereal. That's why I find myself buying these sort of cheaper off-brand cereals, the generic cereals, if you will. And one reason I like that is because generic is one of my favorite words in the English language. Generic comes from the Latin General Eric, who was a very, very well-known man for his desires to spend very little money and also to be in no way creative. That's why I enjoy not Rice Krispies, but Crisp Riceys. Not Fruit Loops, but Loopy Fruits. You ever been on an airplane and you're in coach and you notice everybody in first class has a better seat than you? Hamburger. Well, I think I've enjoyed both of my ice cream cones severely. Thank you to Mona Moore. Thank you to our lovely hosts. I will not thank the internet because I don't like being lost in it. But you guys have been great. Thank you. This is broken. All right.
Yeah. All righty. I'm very famous. Nothing going on now. Oh, yeah, okay. He's just helping with the microphone. Oh, okay. We're not only on FaceTube, by the way. FaceTube. Well, we are on FaceTube, I guess. We're on Insta FaceTube. Yeah. Art in the Basin on Instagram, Art in the Basin on YouTube, where we're streaming live. And of course, on Facebook, it's AITB Art in the Basin. Anyhow, let's move along with the show here. We're going to have Kevin up here in a moment, the musician, but why don't we have our first poet come up? Hopefully she's ready. Not quite yet. You'll be after Phylisha. So sorry about that. But we want to make sure you're warmed up though. So yeah. Anyhow. Phylisha Villanueva is a Belizean American poet. Hey, did you know that Amy Joy is Belizean? Did you know that? She is from Belize. And she's a Belizean American poet, I guess. Author and cultural activist. She is a teaching artist for Arts Westchester, a member of the Jazz and Poetry Choir Collective, and Tesoro and International Women's Poet Collective. Phylisha's written work, including productions and curations, focuses on identity, colorism, inherited trauma, resilience, women's empowerment, Black culture, and mysticism. She specializes in community arts development. She co-founded the Yonkers Writing Group and, as a teen, founded the first teen open mic in downtown Yonkers that lasted for 5 years. Currently, Phylisha is pursuing her Master of Fine Arts degree in poetry at St. Francis College while serving as a board advisor and chairperson for the Blue Door Art Center Membership Committee in Yonkers, New York. And did we mention she is the current Poet Laureate of Westchester County? Everybody, please welcome Phylisha. We got the news about the mics, but one's for the YouTube and one is for here.
Yeah.
I think you just sort of turn this a little bit. We don't normally have a mic, by the way. We're lucky to have a mic tonight, although we're a little inept at operating it. Well, maybe we could just sort of do something like that. Okie doke. Everybody, Phylisha.
Thank you and good evening. My name is Phylisha Villanueva, or you guys could call me Philly. It's very nice to meet you all. I'm going to share a few poems with you today. This first poem is called Peace Performance. Could you show me the unity you seek? I invite you to have a moment of unity with me, where the universal sign of peace is 2 fingers put together, not separate. Take selfies this way. So that looks like this. Thank you. Peace together, not separate. Hashtag peace together, not separate. I invite you to have a moment of unity with me, to collectively speak into the room. Repeat these affirmations with me. I am amazing. I am amazing. I am magnetic and powerful. I am magnetic and powerful. I am spiritually inspired and know that I walk hand in hand with the Most High. I am spiritually inspired and know that I walk hand in hand with the Most High. Gratitude. Thank you. Unity. Unity is the thing that grows. A thing that grows. Unity is a thing that grows. Imagine us flowers working together to survive, to be beautiful, exquisitely unique in this community garden. In this community garden, I imagine us flowers. Because unity is a thing that grows exquisitely unique in this community garden, a shared responsibility. Water with love, peace, and patience. Water with love, peace, and patience. Water made of smarter intention. We rise and elevate this experience. We rise and elevate in this experience. I imagine all of us flowers. Because unity is a thing that grows. We are one harmonious tune leaning towards the sun. Like how we all know that all things are meant to grow. How we all know all things are meant to grow. The garden noise. The garden noise, a symphony of solidarity, a symphony of solidarity, the garden noise. A colorful tapestry from threads of diverse voices. Unity is when everyone is valued. Unity is when everyone is valued. Unity is when everyone is valued. Unity is when everyone is respected. Unity is when everyone is valued and respected, leaning inward, following roots like how we all know that all things are meant to grow. How we all know that all things are meant to grow. This is a glossa poem. I reimagine us, a jazz poem, after James S. Martinez. They kick up such a squabble and they make such lotta noise. I never hear such instrumental fuss. The instruments ain't many as in the regular band, and to look at them you never would suspect. Dear Mr. Martinez, great day, I just there, they wonder about the resemblance. The first time you may catch one single off-key note, embracing the unpredictable, greeting dissonance in a harmony. That's true. No note can ever be wrong. Me think say you live the sound of jazz. Me think say you love the sound of jazz and them many conversations, the strings and the vibrations they have when they rise and fall. Life no sound like jazz. If jazz are life, I want to reimagine us one jazz poem written out upon the palm of your right hand, one prayer between you and the Most High. They kick up such a squabble and they make such lot of noise. Me granny say, the first time I'm going to a jazz club, your grandfather me take me over by 125th Street. And from then I know, say me love the saxophone, no matter who the saxman is. The saxman make me tremble. He give me one deep feeling within. Oh, how I scream when the sax finally start blow him sound. Me blood a rush, the saxophone never have a plan. Telling the truth without precision, say, no error too big for get over. This the how I reimagine us. I never hear such instrumental fuss. When I read for you poem out loud in our garden, that there's somewhere in Yonkers by Jazz and Poetry Choir, the join me. The poem will catch up in a vocalist cry, found in the percussion man vibes and the sweat dripping off of the bass man. I wish to summon you from under Belizean sand to my audience. Come witness how grace waits, how witness grace one wait the poem in a six poets hands them with one mic and one mic stand and poems upon a music stand. The instruments ain't many as in the regular band. I want for you share with me the story about your first time. You may read your poetry out loud, the many conversations, the strings and the vibrations you have when it rise and fall a Creole sound, or gangster music, cruffy, unruly, hand clapping, foot stomping, gyrating, creative pain, outgoing. I want to know how much it resembled the first time you want to hear jazz. Me think say you love the sound of Creole make jazz just like Creole, that my decision. Like flipping over every table in this room, it's the constant disrespect, and to look at them you would never suspect. Thank you. Here's another Belizean poem. This is a murmuration poem. Sub umbra florero. Someone's Dominican mama cuts off more than I asked for. Xiomara sings and dances big rollers into my hair today. Me and mommy continue to learn bachata this way silently. My mother calls her scissors happy. From under the dryer, head full of rollers, we wash and set for graduations, picture days, interviews. I reimagine this an invitation to celebrate me when you ask, what are you? And tell me how good my hair is. Mommy teaches me. More than $35 is too much. Ask for the doobie. Bring your own pins just in case. How to be a smart girl. Learn Spanish in college. Talk proper English. Be chameleon girl. When the lash lady and the hairdresser feel safe enough to talk about those people, this be out of my control, a silent cry. Under the shade of the mahogany, born from bloodwood sent downriver, bleeding black, British, Honduras, bleeding blues and purples from Baymen and West Africans. How I always resemble someone's cousin. Me and mommy's hair bend that way. I'm reminded I'm hard to explain, like Yonkers is not upstate. Belize is not Brazil, and Punta is not a bad word, but a prayer and a glass of whiskey for Mama Luz's 96th birthday. We watch as she winds her waist. She can cure asthma with shark oil, turn a Bronx apartment into a Punta Gorda portal. What if her and her sisters, Granitas, Mama Della, Aunt Melia, Aunt Maria, Aunt Ket, Aunt Met, were allowed to go to school? Who would make the corn tortilla and fry the beans on a Monday morning? Create a secret Creole Spanish to talk about the grandchildren? Work as nannies and climb up 176th Street stairs with big bags and small hands? Xiomara sings and dances big rollers into my hair today. Bachata this way silently. From under the dryer, head full of rollers. Interviews. I reimagine this an invitation for you to celebrate me. Mommy teaches me more than $35 is too much. Ask for the doobie. Learn Spanish in college. Talk proper English. When the lash lady and the hairdresser feel safe enough. This be out of my control, a silent cry. Born from bloodwood, sent downriver. Bleeding blues and purples. How I always resemble someone's cousin. I'm reminded I'm hard to explain. Belize is not Brazil. Punta is not a bad word, but a prayer. We watch as she winds her waist, turn a Bronx apartment into a Punta Gorda portal. Granitas, Mama Della, Aunt Melia, Aunt Maria, Aunt Ket, Aunt Met. Who would fry the fried beans on a Monday morning to talk about the grandchildren with big bags and small hands? Xiomara sings and dances big rollers into my hair today. Interviews. I reimagine this an invitation to celebrate me. When the lash lady and the hairdresser feel safe enough. Bleeding blues and purples. Belize is not Brazil. Punta is not a bad word, but a prayer. Garnitas, Mama Della, Aunt Melia, Aunt Maria, Aunt Met, Aunt Ket. Thank you. Healing justice lives in the laundry room of my building. While dryers dry and washers wash, in a small place with little space, rest, rest, as in close your eyes for 3 breaths. I don't have time, I told her. I don't have time. It'll just take 30 minutes, she said. I told her tomorrow. Tomorrow, yeah, tomorrow's a good day. She said, great, I'll come to you. Tomorrow comes. I get a text. I'm about to be on my way. I'm panicking, so I call her. Girl, she says, girl, I said, girl, I'm tired. I know, she says. Girl, I'm tired. I hope you haven't left yet because I just realized there's so much I have to do. I don't have the time. It'll only take 10 minutes. I have laundry to do. She said, if there's a chair in the room, if there's a chair in the room, like hands rubbing on your back, like it's okay, pretty girl, super mom, daughter, sister, it's all right, friend, lover, student, poet, baby girl, I got you. This poem is about a healing poet, a soldier of love, reminding us that it's the touch we're missing. It's the touch we are missing, the act of service, literally putting Black hands on Black bodies in pain, Black bodies daydreaming, Black body boundaries, Black body leisure, Black body leisure, Black bodies resting. She says, this will heal us all. She rubs in and up, and I rest. She rubs in and up, and I rest and rest. My shoulders take up space for 10 minutes. People squeeze by. It's that urgent while dryers dry and washers wash in a small place with little space. Rest as a community, rest as women, rest as in close your eyes for a minute. Rest alive, rest well, rest as healing, rest as love, rest as resistance, rest as resistance. Thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you so much. My Instagram is my name, Phylisha Villanueva. And I perform with a band. I usually perform with music. So so I'll be having some performances coming up, and just check me out so you could see me perform with a live band. Thank you. Thank you. Ow.
One more time, please. Let's hear it. Phylisha Villanueva. Thank you so much for coming out. I don't know if I guess while Kevin is preparing to come up here and perform, we'll just sit for a moment and absorb what we just heard. Wow. Intense stuff. Thank you so much, Phylisha, for coming out tonight. Really appreciate it. Just want to mention also, by the way, that this evening is being underwritten in part by poets and writers. We're always grateful to them for supporting us here at Art in the Basin. I do sometimes think that we have such good luck with them because they think we're a bunch of broke-ass Bronx poets, but we'll let them think that. Anyhow, thank you again for coming out tonight. Let's come up here with our next performer, a veteran of New York's post-punk and singer-songwriter scenes. Kevin Delaney writes and records on a solitary iMac in the wilds of northern Manhattan. You've heard that phrase, upstate Manhattan? It's the Inwood neighborhood, just across the river, across the river from us. Had to think about that a second. His past albums include Pause for Effect and Himalayan Moon, produced by Garius Hill, which Smother magazine called excellent, stirring, a must-have, and compelling. Kevin sings lead and background vocals and plays acoustic and electric guitars, mandolin, bass, and harmonica while faking it on keyboards. Everybody, please welcome the return to Art in the Basin of Kevin Delaney. Would you want to hold this, or how? Okay.
Thank you again for having me here. Great to share stages with poets. Well, it's a little intimidating for a pop song lyric writer. Pop song lyrics are the last refuge of the poetic scoundrel, I always say. We'll give it our best shot. This is a song by request. Amy didn't actually verbally request it, but she sent out psychic waves that she'd be really pissed off if I didn't do this song. I could just feel it. Song I wrote in Ireland. I'm gonna turn the guitar down.
Dublin.
Yeah, I write a lot of songs. My wife is from Ireland, so I always write a song every time I'm over there. It's just in the air, the soil, the Irish Sea, for fuck's sake. All right, here we go. Forever ago, followed a rainbow on a journey I could no longer forgo. Every road leads somewhere. Where it went, I didn't care. Nowhere, somewhere when there's nothing to come. Think, and you'll miss me. I'm as good as gone. Blink, and you'll miss me. I'm good as gone. Clouds on the horizon, gonna go sleep you. I spread my wings and off I flew. Never thought it'd be so loud, rising above the clouds. The lights of home passed far from my view. So blink, and you'll miss me. I'm as good as gone. Blink, and you'll I'm good as gone. Escape to the quiet corners as you flee the noise that borders. Outrun the fleeting feeling. Life could pass you by. I'm as good as gone. Blink and you'll miss me. I'm good as gone. Thank you very much. I had oral surgery last week. And I said to the oral surgeon, is it okay if I play the harmonica? She gave me a long list of stuff I couldn't do. And she said, no. I said, well, how about by Tuesday night, can I play the harmonica? She said, you really shouldn't, but I'll make an exception. So special thanks to Dr. Goldman. She's a really nice person. If you ever get, periodontal disease, you're in luck. Contact me. And she gave me some meaningless banter while I tuned my guitar. Always thankful for that.
Okay, this song is about the aforementioned island of Manhattan, although it really applies to New York in general. All of us here in New York, all of us artists of one stripe or another. Some of us were born here. Many of us came here from some other godforsaken place that we escaped from because we're creative souls. But, you know, it's a really creative place, Manhattan, and lots of people, you know, came to Manhattan. It's really New York, but New York just, the song is called Remember Manhattan. Remember New York. Remember the greater New York area does not really much of a ring to it. So anyways, Staten Island's included. Staten Island's a cool place. I was there recently. That's another story. All right. This is Remember Manhattan. I'm out of tune. All that tuning and I'm out of tune. There was I used a lot of alternate tunings in case there's any guitar players out there. And the musicians I've played with over the years, I've talked about starting a support group for people who listen to me tune. All right. Audiences should start one too. Okay, this time I promise. Good enough for rock and roll.
Must have been lonely, walk the fields alone. Your only friend, the silent skies and the birds above an unhappy home. Now you're far from home, surrounded by millions. Will you still blame yourself when there's nothing left to run from? Remember Manhattan calling you for the first time. Remember the promises like a halo above the skyline. Chasing a better dream, ever really the worst crime? Your mother turned away, your father too proud to cry. When you said goodbye to a preordained fate, not knowing all the while hard lessons that would await. Now you're still waiting for more promises to break. Remember Manhattan calling you for the first time. Remember the promises like a parent in the skyline. Chasing a better dream, ever really the worst crime? Silence is a city, stirring memories, best forgiven. When you broke away, gave into your vision, or will you turn your back on me? Remember Manhattan calling you for the first time. Remember the promises like a halo above the skyline. Chasing a better dream, ever really the worst crime?
Thank you so much.
Hey. Kevin will be back for one more tune or two towards the end of the program. The Christmas song that which we advertised. Anyway, thank you so much, Kevin. Really enjoyed that a lot. We're going to move on to the next performer of the evening. Thank you. Oh, it's not that one either. She's been here. Oh, wait. I think it was this one. Yeah. I was more on the ball than I really thought I was. How about that? Anyway, our third and final performer of the evening, Sarah Stern, is the author of 3 poetry books. We have been lucky in the midst of misfortune, but today is different. And another word for love. She is a 6-time, count them, 6-time winner of the Bronx Council on the Arts Brio Poetry Award, a recipient of 2 Pushcart Prize nominations and several Poets and Writers readings and workshops grants, of which we were at least one. We account for that. Sarah is an educator at Poets House downtown and on the faculty of the New York Writers Workshop. She has taught poetry workshops at Poets House, the Marlene Meyerson JCC Manhattan, the New York Public Library, CSAIR Adult Learning Institute, Hostos Community College, the Bronx Zoo, Edgar Allan Poe Visitor Center, and Art in the Basin. She graduated from Barnard College and Columbia University's Graduate School of Journalism. Everybody, please welcome our local pride poet, Sarah Stern. Yeah. You need a chair or anything? Or? Okay. You were here for the 2 mic explanation, right? I don't.
There we go. Well, thank you. And it was such a treat to hear Phylisha, Philly, very inspiring. Thank you. And Kevin, beautiful music. And thank you, AITB, Amy Joy, and Tim, and Mon Amour Cafe. So, yeah, it's wonderful to be here. And thank you all for coming out for poetry. I thought that I would start. I was focusing tonight. Can you hear me okay? Yes? Okay. Start a poem. I was focusing on poems from my books that mostly include the Bronx. Yes, our great borough. So I thought I would start with the first one, which is my experience of doing jury duty and taking the bus to the Grand Concourse, and it's called Bending Toward Justice. Oh, I asked for the window to be open, and you can hear me okay, right? Yes, yes, yes. Bending Toward Justice. There are more than 4 seasons. I hear someone behind me say in the large jury room before we're asked to pay attention. The arc of the moral universe hangs from the ceiling, reminding me of the Passover death angel swallowed in flames. The bus ride here, a parade of small wonders, Christmas approaching, the strollers and mothers, the high schoolers cascading about as we all move down the Grand Concourse. I was once lonely in San Francisco, and my mother said, just take a bus across the city. See what you can see. How she enjoyed the ride. And now the string of lights are blowing wildly over the boulevard as if there is a fifth season somewhere out there in the half dome of a Bronx afternoon. Thank you. Thank you. In this season of holidays, you pick the one. I know I'm not the only one. We remember the people who aren't with us anymore. So these next two are remembering my mother. And it's the first one, First Frost Night. You let me go. Oh. That's the Bronx sound. You let me go, sweet grief, first and always love. You will be with me as long as I want you. It was you. You came back one more time. Hummingbird, green black mouse, hovering in the week after your death. When I look in the mirror and I see your mouth, I want you to say something. Leaves turning and the sea sway on a weekday morning. I want you to see them. I want to fall back with you and fall back again at 2 a.m. There you are on a first frost night, my age now. Oh, thank you. Thank you. My mom, I'm sure some of you have had this experience when someone you love passes and then you dream about them. So this one is called Horsewoman and Camels. She kept smiling at me, but looking about me too, as if I were the center of a framed collage. There were camels in a row, cupcakes, night lamps, a pigeon, perfume bottles, a bicycle, a drill, a four-post bed, one shoe, her bras hanging on the line, lots of shadow. I wanted to know what was making her so happy. I asked, and she shouted back at me from across the river. I couldn't hear a sound, but I saw her mouth. You. I woke up in the dark light, the wheels of things spinning, wet sparks, horsewoman and camel, sweet mommy, how she left me upright. Thank you. Thank you. I want to now take us to Orchard Beach. This is called A Night Thought Can't Sleep. It stands up and takes you on the bus, blue jay feather and grass, summer in City Island, the drawbridge, fishing off the side, and the kids running back and forth. What'd you catch? Orchard Beach, two women dance on Saturday afternoon. Tattooed boys look on. Mother says, keep writing. It's what you have. Give me the words that grind us into meaning, like those two on the plaza. Forgiveness and wild gesture. And as we pass the Orchard Beach, we're at the Bronx Zoo. And it was a very different zoo when I was there with my father and my six brothers, much younger. You'll see if this could possibly happen today. It's called Feeding the Elephants. Every Sunday morning after his office hours, even in the rain, my father took us to the zoo. He drove my six brothers and me across the Bronx with old bread in the back seat, given by his patient, a baker. Lions slept late on Sundays, all looking like Bach. Their ears twitched occasionally. The keeper threw black fish to seals. Seals flew, landing in the water, only to chew and rise again. Father carried the bag of bread around the corner. The elephants were waiting for him. He pulled round cornbread from the bag, hurled it over the stone wall. The male came forward, and with his trunk he smacked the bread against the cement until it broke. Piece by piece he put into his mouth. Father laughed until the tears came. When he caught his breath, he threw rye breads over. The females liked those. When we were sure that everyone was fed, Father called it a day and led us home. And now we go to Wave Hill.
Made it west.
We made it west. It's a little bit of a sexy poem. I figured the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the energy over here.
Yeah.
It's my favorite tree. And the poem is called Elephant Skin. And this book, but today is different. Most of the book is a conversation between sort of an all-knowing she. And I let you figure out who the she is. It could be the she of your choice. She tells me more than once to watch the light. See, she says, look how it dances on the bark, elephant skin. I push my body against it. How this European copper beach welcomes what the day brings. Its limbs open and stark, like sex last evening, rolling up to my mouth, those concentric circles of coming, the rings that begin at the root and work through me as though I could count them to know my age. What is it about this life that makes it more wondrous than the day before, even with the savagery? She says again, praise the light. So I do. I put my tongue to the beach in February. You crazy loon, you. No one on the hill except a woodpecker. Tap, tap, tap her little red cap. Mother used to tell me to know your birds and trees. I want to know my heart. Tell me, beach, what lurks there? Thank you. Thank you. And we have Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, any other holiday that I'm missing this time of year? Festivus. So this is a very haiku, a Hanukkah haiku, and another poem about the wistfulness of this time of year. Hanukkah. Oh, wait, this is like the Woody Allen movie. Hanukkah haiku for my dad. The light comes undone, gray morning, leaves wet. Mother, alone without you. So I was so excited to, whoops. Oh, okay. Sure. Thank you. I was so excited because I was thinking I could read this poem under the L. And this is from my book, my first book, Another Word for Love, and it's called Under the L, 231st Street and Broadway. And again, it's a conversation. It's a conversation. So see, you can try to see who's saying what. I bought an umbrella from the man at the corner who said, always take one step outside before you carry it overhead. He said, smell the rain as though it were a flower. I said, the eel prefers darkness and the hydrangea sunlight. He said, give thanks for color. How about the heart? The heart opens like the camera shutter. The darker, the larger the opening. Then we must be like the eel. No, we're like the hydrangea. Except we can't forgive. Some people can. Not enough. How do you forgive? Tie your shoes properly. I do. Make double knots. Now we're going a little bit away from New York City, but it's that time of year in New Hampshire. It's called Trees in January. Trees in January appear, souls that haven't found bodies along New Hampshire's Route 93. When leaves break through, we won't notice the lyric sway of their trunks or hear their arias to snow and foxes. What do we have left? The moon is cold as steel. Christmas trees lie on city streets, their needles wedged in cracks, the way wishes are crammed into crevices of the holy wall. The children are getting older. We have one life in this broken world. I have two more poems, one more from this last book and then a newer one. This is called Teacher. You once told me that true love begins in winter, when the roots hunker down and you can hear the trunk bend with the wind. Love call. You told me that love ends if it has to in summer, when a tree is too full of squirrels. I miss your quiet pronouncements. You never talked about love lasting, but you once said that the smell of rain and spring keeps you here, and that the moon and fall always reminded you that beauty has no particular message. Ah, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think because winter is coming, we have to go visit the West. Think of Zion and Utah and the big sky country. So it has a little bit of New York City, but I leave you in Utah. So this is called The Narrows. It was winter 1987 and snowing. There was a party at NYU. I slept over at Janet's dorm. Oh, I remember dancing, large windows. Walking tonight through Washington Square Park, I look up for some sign of redemption. I search in these warm months when the nakedness of what is shoots by us like stars in the heavy wave of trees, fountains, and flesh. I want this to be a long poem, winding through the years like the stories that begin once upon a time. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who liked to catch things in streams, tadpoles, minnows, and newts. The light flooded in too, the way it did this summer, how it ricocheted off the sandstone canyons. The rappellers made their way down, carrying their gear. There was satisfaction in seeing them touch ground. I'm lost in this new season. I come back to dancing in the storm. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody, let's hear it again for Sarah Stern. Oh. Bronx Poets. You know, we are in the Broadway Valley, what it's called, the Basin. You listen to Amy Joy, who's named our organization Art in the Basin. We are in a basin. This way is Riverdale up the hill. That way is Kingsbridge Heights up the hill. And that way is Yonkers up the hill. So we're in like this bowl, right? This basin. So that's kind of what's it. Oh yeah, well it is across the river. It well, I mean Marble Hill is you claim it, but anyway, um, yeah, yeah. So yeah, and this is a neighborhood event here tonight. Our backyard was represented by the Bronx and Yonkers and Inwood, all places we draw from here at Art in the Basin. Before we bring Kevin up one last time, just want to let you know this is the last Art in the Basin event for the year. We will be back on January 7th with Melinda Wilson. You may know Melinda as co-host up the hill of the On Bielbach Poor Mouth reading series. She's just published a book, What It Was Like to Be a Woman, I think is the title, if I remember correctly. But she'll be here selling books and gracing us with her presence for, I don't know, the third or fourth time now. We've been working with Melinda for a number of years now. So please do check us out on January 7th. And it'll be the return of the Art in the Basin hybrid open mic, which you can sign up on Eventbrite.com at the Art in the Basin page. Anyhow, let's bring back Kevin Delaney.
All right. My God, such a pleasure to be here tonight. Microphone. Okay. So much talent in this room. My God. Really, really. Yeah, I have a feeling there's a whole lot of talent in this room that isn't getting up to the microphone tonight. Anyway, there's a rock solid written in granite rule among American songwriters that you must write a train song, a prison song, and a really cheesy holiday song. I had years worth of prison songs and train songs. I just rolled out of bed in the morning and wrote one of those, but it took me a long time to get around to writing a holiday song. I'm not sure who made up that rule, but it could have been me. I can't remember. In any case, well, yeah, I have a friend who wrote Christmas rapping, and man, he got a big fat check every February. Yeah, this is why everybody does. Anyway, this is my bid for a big fat check in February. Hasn't come in yet, but anyway, this is a ode to the joys of not doing a whole lot on Christmas. Yeah. Or Kwanzaa, or Festivus, or Hanukkah. All right. I'll have the right harmonica. I don't know how many times I've had the wrong harmonica in my harmonica holder. We're going to live dangerously. I think it's the right one. Yep. Yep. All right. So I'm really going to start.
Journey around the Christmas tree. The ornaments and lights all tell a story. The seasons passed when we pulled out the stops, delighting children with Christmas morning glory. But this year we'll find magic walking in the rain. A winter wonderland can't be arranged. Warm our toes inside by an imaginary fire, with nothing quite resembling an angelic choir. 'Cause it's another Christmas, it's far from ambitious. Another Christmas, happy to do nothing with you. You don't need a fancy dinner for two to ensure our Christmas doesn't turn blue. No tinkling sleigh bells or hanging mistletoe, just a simple song that says I love you. 'Cause it's another Christmas. It's far from ambitious. Another Christmas. Happy to do nothing with you. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Felicia both? Okay. Oh, can we call Sarah and Felicia up to the front? We're gonna conclude the evening like we always do at Art in the Basin with the benediction, as I call it, where we send everybody off like with good vibes and everything like that. So
this is from Amy Joy's book, The Purest Kind. And okay. And her book, a collection of love poems. Lead love, love at the helm. Take me to an unseen realm. In it, I'll dwell under sacred spell, waving until your gaze sets still. Love, lead the way.
Okay, so this side, you all in this front table, you're going to say let. You folks in the back, you guys are going to say love. And then you folks kind of on this side, you're going to say lead. Okay, so let's practice. All right, let's do it together. Love, lead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah Stern, Phylisha Villanueva, Tim W. Brown, Kevin Delaney, right? Right, I'm Amy Joy, and if you're gonna enter 2025 with me, you're gonna switch up those 3 words and put the lead first. So I wanna hear us say it together en trois. On deux, oh, sorry, I didn't tell you how to say it. First, you're gonna lead, let love, okay? So on deux, trois, lead, let love. That's right, lead with the love and let that love in, out. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and all those beautiful, wonderful celebrations. Thank you all for coming. Good night.